Hello, everyone. Today's question is why am I eating so much all of a sudden? And for those of you who don't know, I am both a leadership coach and a nutritionist, and our company integrates well being as the foundation for leadership performance. And food has everything to do with how we show up in our leadership, from how neurotransmitters are fired in our brain to our energy level to our engagement and our focus. Nutrition really is foundational to how we lead. So, this is such a great question, and I want to answer it from two perspectives, one from the physiological perspective, and then the other from the psychological perspective. So, we're all in a pretty heightened state of stress. And what happens when we have stress, even emotional stress, is that we have a physical response to that emotional stress, meaning our hormones change. And the stress hormone that increases in our body when we're under either physical or emotional stress is called cortisol. And cortisol gets released into the body, and it triggers our body to say, okay, we need to fuel up to handle this stressful situation. And so what ends up happening is we crave more salty, sugary foods, and we crave more of it. Now, everybody's body is different. So some people's stress response is to have less of an appetite, but the majority of people actually have an increased appetite when they're faced with emotional or physical stress. So that's one thing that we're all facing, is this physiological response to stress that's telling our brain we need to eat more. And it's difficult to counterbalance that, but I'm going to give you some tips. The other thing is, just from a psychology perspective, a lot of us are stress eating for emotional reasons. We're trying to fill up some of that anxiety that we're having, and food is comforting in this moment. Some of us have busier schedules, some of us has more space in our schedules, and sometimes that space in our schedule can lead to boredom, and we can overeat because we feel more bored than anything else. So we have a lot of things working against us in this moment. We also have more access because we're home to our refrigerators and our pantries. And so whereas sometimes we don't have as much access right now, we have unlimited access to walk over to our kitchens and grab something to eat. So I want to give you three tips just to help with this. Number one, it's so important that you stay hydrated. A lot of times when we're thirsty, our brains are getting cues that we're hungry, and in actuality, we're not. We're just thirsty. So foundationally, I really want you to pay attention to hydrating. And hydrating, especially in the morning, I call it front loading your hydration, and just try and get as much hydration as you can in those morning hours. And I like to do that so that you're not over drinking water in the evening and causing you to use the restroom and disturbing your sleep in the night. So really try and pay attention to your hydration. And a good baseline for you to think about is take your body weight and divide that in half. That's a good baseline for how many ounces of water you should be drinking a day. And then it's important that if you're working out, you add to that. If you're walking outside and it's hot or in the heat, that you add to that. If you're not feeling well, add to that. And then factors that we can't do right now, like traveling, you would want to add to that as well. So surprisingly, travel can be very dehydrating. So you want to keep your hydration up when you do get the opportunity to travel again. So hydration is one thing that's going to help not only keep your body healthy, but also help with those hunger cues and reducing some of those. Number two is really utilizing the power of the breath and the pause. When you want to go get something to eat, I want you to take one breath and pause and ask yourself, am I really hungry? Can you check in with your body and ask, am I really hungry? Or am I wanting to get something to eat for a different reason? And just by taking a deep breath in that moment, what you're doing is you're relaxing your nervous system. So you're really bringing down that cortisol hormone that we talked about earlier. When you take that breath, that's reducing that cortisol, allowing your nervous system to get back to the rest and digest part of your nervous system, which is called the parasympathetic nervous system. And that will give you a moment to check in with your body, to relax your body, and then to determine, am I really hungry, or am I just feeling the impact of stress and that hormone? And then number three, the final thing I want you to do is, after you've gone through those steps, you're well hydrated, you're taking a breath, and you're saying, yep, I'm still hungry. I want you to ask yourself, what will nourish my body, my mind in this moment? Can I get something that's really nourishing and healthy for my body instead of reaching for that salty sweet food? Can I reach for an apple and some almonds? Can I grab some hummus and carrots? Can I grab something that's actually going to nourish my body versus the thing I'm craving in that second, which is usually the salty or sweet? So try those three steps. I know it's hard. We're all struggling. I'm a nutritionist and I'm struggling. It is really a difficult moment for all of us, and we're grabbing different kinds of foods to comfort us in this challenging moment. So use those three steps to nourish your body and also fuel your leadership. Thank you so much.